Hi, this is Shannon, and I will be reading you selections from the Sandwich Enterprise, dated October 11th, 2024. Our first headline is Sandwich Native Named Announcer for the Spurs by Taylor Fruzetti. One Sandwich resident has made it to the big league. Jacob R. Tobey started his new role as the play-by-play announcer for the San Antonio Spurs on Monday. Mr. Tobey's love of broadcasting began when he was young. He idolized Celtics announcer Mike Jorman as a child, and he even got to meet him during his journey to the Spurs. "I couldn't even speak. I was so nervous," he said. "I was way more nervous to meet him than a player. I still feel that to this day. I interview pro athletes all the time, but when I meet mentors in the broadcasting space, I get nervous because they are my true idols." He said that he started practicing for the role at a young age. "I was playing video games in my basement, NBA 2K, and I would shut the sound off and pretend to be the announcer," he said, adding that he would often announce basketball games that his friends would play in his neighborhood. While attending high school at Sturgis Charter Public School East Campus, he started a radio station called the Sturgis Storm with his friend Kevin Agostinelli. He also played sports in high school, including soccer and, of course, basketball. Mr. Tobey said that his history teacher, Jim Barrasso, encouraged him to pursue a career in broadcasting. "He would always tell me, 'You can be in the NBA. If you really want to chase it, you can do it,'" he said. While attending Suffolk University, Mr. Tobey worked towards his goal. He wrote for the school newspaper and was involved with the school's radio and TV stations. Mr. Tobey said that he covered the Boston Celtics while interning for CLNS Media and covered the Patriots while interning at 98.5 The Sports Hub. After graduating college in 2018, he worked as a weekend sports anchor for KJRH-TV in Tulsa, Oklahoma, covering a variety of college sports. Before working for the Spurs, he worked for 9 News in Denver, Colorado, as a weekend sports anchor. "It really is a grind," he says. "Along the way, you meet people and make relationships." His advice for those wanting to pursue a career in sports broadcasting is, you have to love it to death. There's so much sacrifice with working on the weekends or working a different schedule, working on holidays, being away from family and friends for an extended period of time, he said. Having a voice on air is not only a dream for Mr. Tobey, but as a member of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, it also significant for his heritage. To represent the tribe on television as a Native American, as a minority, that means a lot, he said. There aren't a lot of us in this space right now, and to be able to have a voice, to have a microphone as an Indigenous person is a great responsibility, and I won't take that lightly. Although it is unconfirmed, Mr. Tobey said that he is one of the first Native American announcers in the NBA. To this day, Mr. Tobey said that he still thinks about where his journey all started. "I try to bring myself back to when I was a little kid, doing it by myself in the basement, playing video games, or in the driveway with my friends. I bring that energy every night," he said. Our next headline is Representative Fernandez delivers $500,000 to Cape Fishermen's Association by Amy Rothman. The fishing industry on Cape Cod received a financial boost this week thanks to a push from one of the Cape's state representatives. Representative Dylan Fernandez, Democrat Falmouth, presented the $500,000 check to the Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance on Wednesday, outside of Fisherman's View at 20 Freezer Road in Sandwich. At 2 p.m., he proudly handed the check over to members of the Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance. As boats swayed gently on the waves in the marina behind them, Representative Fernandez spoke on the importance of the fishing industry on the Cape. According to the Alliance, almost 2,000 fishermen live and work on the Cape year-round, bringing nearly $73.8 million worth of fish to the Cape every year. The multi-million-dollar industry is essential for the Cape's seasonal and year-round economies. We just need, as a state, to support the fishing industry, Representative Fernandez said. Representative Fernandez helped secure this funding when he designated $500,000 towards sustainable fishing practices, signing a budget amendment. It was finalized when Governor Maura Healey signed the 2024 budget into law. This was part of the $935,000 budget that Representative Fernandez signed into the budget for this year, which secured funding for the Cape and Islands. The budget amendment number 738 stated, Mr. Fernandez of Falmouth moves to amend the bill in Section 2 in Item 2000-0100 by inserting the following. Provided further that not less than $500,000 shall be expended for the Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance for the modernization and maintenance of sustainable fishing. These funds will help support the Cape's fishing industry as well as help push the industry to become more sustainable. This is the second year that Representative Fernandez has secured $500,000 for the Alliance to support the fishing industry. This money was also signed into last year's budget for the state of Massachusetts. A press release from Alex Scicciatano, a media contact for Representative Fernandez, said, last year the funds Representative Fernandez secured for CCCFA allowed staff to secure an additional $5.786 million in 2024 to 2026 research awards, which will improve our understanding of scallop growth rates, the Outer Cape coastal current, monkfish, and will assemble the largest cooperative network of fishing boats and environmental sensors in the United States to cement the Commonwealth's leadership in ocean observing. Doreen Leggett, community journalist and communications officer with the CCCFA, sent the enterprise the organization's 2023 to 2024 final report to the Mass Division of Marine Fisheries. The report highlighted what the Alliance was able to do with this funding from June 2023 to June 2024. The $500,000 contract to Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance was instrumental in supporting the commercial fishing industry as it modernizes to meet the demands of a changing ecosystem, the report said. It also allowed us to conduct free workforce training to support the next generation of fishermen, training 7 students to be new fishing crew members and preparing for multilingual training for 14 Brazilian immigrants, the report continued. Based on this report, the money went towards salaries, training, networking and events, travel, peer hosts, and more, all of which help propel the Cape Cod fishing industry into a more sustainable future. This funding also helped alleviate challenges that the fishing industry faces on Cape Cod. CEO Pappalardo cites regulatory policy changes. John Pappalardo, Chief Executive Officer of the CCCFA, spoke to these issues on behalf of the Alliance. We're facing a lot of challenges: regulatory, climate, aging out of the fleet, he said. Regulatory and policy changes from the state and from NOAA have changed the way that fisheries must operate. Restrictions from NOAA can limit the times and quantities that fisheries can catch certain types of fish. Additionally, climate change can make weather conditions unpredictable and can change the state of the oceans where the fish are living. The EPA reports that climate change has led to a rise in both heat storage and surface level temperature of the ocean, which can harm wildlife. This provides another challenge to the fishing industry. Things are changing more rapidly than the system we have to operate in, Mr. Pappalardo continued. Although the industry has changed, this funding can help ensure that the Cape's fishing industry can make changes and adapt so that people can continue to enjoy the fresh seafood of the Cape. In turn, the state can benefit from the economic impacts. Representative Fernandez emphasized how important the fishing industry is to Massachusetts, the jobs it brings, the economic development that it brings, and we need to fight to preserve this, he said. And so this additional $500,000 is a good way to help to do that here in this region, Representative Fernandez continued. It's an honor to get you guys the funding for jobs, for industry, for fishing families, Representative Fernandez said. Mr. Pappalardo extended his gratitude on behalf of the Alliance. I'd like to thank Representative Fernandez once again for supporting our traditional industry that contributes to thousands of year-round jobs to our coastal economy, said Mr. Pappalardo. We and fishing families across the Cape are grateful for Representative Fernandez's work on behalf of the industry and his understanding that commercial fishing, the original blue economy, is essential to our peninsula's success, he continued. As the CCCFA posed in front of the water with the oversized check, Representative Fernandez emphasized the importance of this legislative action. $500,000 from the legislature is a really big deal for fishing families to make sure that Cape Cod is able to sustain this industry and preserve a fishing industry that has thousands of jobs here and is part of our cultural identity, Fernandez concluded. Smiling from ear to ear, the CCCFA members happily accepted this check. Representative Fernandez concluded by highlighting the importance of this funding and what it can do to support the Cape. Fishing is deeply embedded in the history and identity of the Cape and islands and supports thousands of jobs within the blue economy, said Representative Fernandez. This funding helps sustain local commercial fishing and support fishing families across the region, he concluded. Next headline is Dual Sandwich Fest Porch Fest event brings a crowd, by Taylor Frizzetti. 2 annual events have been given new life thanks to the Sandwich Arts Alliance and the Sandwich Chamber of Commerce joining forces. The groups created a dual event encompassing both Sandwich Fest, organized by the Chamber, and Porch Fest, organized by the Arts Alliance, on Saturday. Members of both organizations said combining the events helped garner more traffic. It was at least double the amount of foot traffic that we have seen in the past couple of years, Chamber of Commerce Director Christine P. Ross said. The collaboration with the Sandwich Arts Alliance was phenomenal to really bring the whole village together. Sandwich Arts Alliance Vice President Melinda Gallant agreed. The first highlight is the number of people that attended, she said. I count bags when people are walking around and everybody had a bag, so everybody was buying from somewhere. Modern Vintage co-owner Kara M. Krupe-Dillmain said that because Sandwich Fest is usually just on Water Street, the addition of Porch Fest encouraged people to stop in local businesses in the village. Having everything spread over the whole downtown really benefited all of the businesses in this area, she said. I thought it was really cool that they included the fashion show this year. That was a cool way to advertise the local businesses. Cerealian owner Kate M. Simpson said that she had more than 450 people in her store during Porch Fest. It was great to see so many people out and about and supporting small businesses. even just appreciating the town, she said. Samantha K. Schultz of Beth's Bakery said that the bakery saw more traction in the afternoon when Porch Fest started to ramp up. She said patrons took their pastries to the deck to take in the tunes. 20 musicians played a variety of genres. Some of those musicians played fiddles and acoustic guitars, while others opted for electric keyboards and drums. Ms. Gallant said that she received positive feedback from musicians, saying that they enjoyed the layout of the festival, which allowed attendees to stand and listen to their music and naturally move on to the next act. Attendees pursued goods from 105 local vendors on Water Street, including Scents of Cape Cod, Sundance Clothing, A Piece of Sandwich, Colorful Kids, Lobster Mats, Jimmy Ellis Woodworking, and more. Local organizations, including Friends of the Sandwich Town Archives, the Rotary Club of Bourne Sandwich, Top Hem Emergency Medical, and Cub Scout Pack 64, also had booths. A flea market on School Street was a new addition to Sandwich Fest this year. Pups donned glittery attire during the Disco Doggy Parade sponsored by Oceanside Animal Hospital. Models showcased local clothing and styles during the fashion show sponsored by Signed Management, and attendees took in the views of Chamois Pond on kayak rides sponsored by the Ride-Away Adventures. Ms. Roth acknowledged the hard work of the volunteers who made the event possible, adding community members can learn more about local volunteer opportunities during the volunteer fair planned for Thursday, October 24th. It takes a village in the village to make this such an awesome day, she said. Our next headline is, MCAS scores show significant growth in math high science scores, by Taylor Frusetti. Although statewide spring 2024 MCAS results indicate that school districts are still recovering from a learning loss caused by the COVID pandemic, Sandwich students showed significant growth in math and significantly higher scores in science. During the school committee meeting on Wednesday, Assistant Superintendent David J. Quinn and Curriculum Director Jen Kirk presented data that combined the number of students meeting or exceeding expectations and compared it to other students in the same category across the state. The data was compared to previous scores from 2023 and 2019. The data also showed the student growth percentile for each grade when applicable. This category measures how student achievement has changed over the years in comparison to other students in the same grade who performed similarly in the past. Typical growth is between 40 and 60. The data also measured the school achievement percentile, which is a comparison of the average scaled scores of the same group from all public schools across the state. Nearly all grades achieved the top third performance in math when compared to the average state score. When it comes to statewide results, 42% of students in grades 3 through 6 met or exceeded expectations. There was a 0% change from 2023 and a decrease of 8% from 2019. 61% of third graders at Oak Ridge met or exceeded expectations. Sandwich scores for third grade showed an increase of 14% from 2023 and an increase of 12% from 2019. Student growth data for third grade students was not applicable, but they had a school achievement percentile of 73%. 56% of 8th grade Oak Ridge students met or exceeded expectations. Their scores showed a decrease of 5% from 2023 and an increase of 12% from 2019. This year's scores for 4th graders showed a median school growth percentile of 55 and a school achievement percentile of 69%. 55% of 5th grade students met or exceeded expectations. The scores of 5th graders at Oak Ridge showed a decrease of 5% from 2023 and an increase of 1% from 2019. Scores for fifth graders resulted in a median student growth percentile of 60 this year and a school achievement percentile of 71%. 74% of sixth grade students met or exceeded expectations in math. Their scores demonstrated a 13% increase from 2023 and a 2% increase from 2019. This year's scores for sixth graders showed a median student growth percentile of 80 and a school achievement percentile of 95%. When it comes to statewide math results for students in 7th grade to 10th grade, 42% of students met or exceeded expectations. There was a change of 0 from 2023 and a decrease of 9% from 2019. 39% of sandwiched 7th graders met or exceeded expectations in math. Their scores showed a decrease of 10% from 2023 and a decrease of 12% from 2019. 7th grade students showed a median student growth percentile of 28 and a school achievement percentile of 63%. 49% of 8th grade students met or exceeded expectations in math. Their scores decreased by 7% from 2023 and decreased by 2% from 2019. 8th grade student scores showed a median student growth percentile of 47 and a school achievement percentile of 72%. 65% of 10th graders met or exceeded expectations in math. Their scores decreased by 1% from 2023 and showed a change of 0 from 2019. 10th grade student scores showed a median student growth percentile of 50 and a school achievement percentile of 71%. 39% of students in grades 3 through 6 met or exceeded expectations in English ELA statewide. This year's scores showed a decrease of 3% from 2023 and a decrease of 14% from 2019. 49% of Oak Ridge and 3rd grade students met or exceeded expectations in ELA. Their scores showed a 6% increase from 2023 and a decrease of 11% from 2019. The student growth percentile for 3rd graders was not applicable, but they had a school achievement percentile of 60%. 43% of 4th graders met or exceeded expectations in ELA. They showed a 9% decrease from 2023 and a change of 0 from 2019. 4th graders' scores showed a median student population percentile of 57 and a school achievement percentile of 60%. 52% of 5th graders met or exceeded expectations in ELA. Their scores showed a 13% decrease from 2023 and a 10% increase from 2019. Their scores showed a median student growth percentile of 58 and a school achievement percentile of 72%. 63% of 6th grade students met or exceeded expectations in ELA. They showed a 1% increase from 2023 and a change of 0 from 2019. 6th graders' scores showed a student growth percentile of 71 and a school achievement percentile of 87%. 45% of students in grades 7 through 10 met or exceeded expectations in ELA statewide. Their scores showed a 3% increase from 2023 and a 9% increase from 2019. 52% of 7th graders met or exceeded expectations in ELA. Their scores showed a 1% decrease from 2023 and a 15% decrease from 2019. 7th graders' scores showed a median student growth percentile of 50 and a school achievement percentile of 72%. 47% of 8th graders met or exceeded expectations in ELA. Their scores showed a 6% decrease from 2023 and a 12% decrease from 2019. Their scores showed a median student growth percentile of 38 and a school achievement percentile of 63%. 69% of 10th graders met or exceeded expectations in ELA. Their scores showed a 1% increase from 2023 and a change of 0 from 2019. 10th graders received a median student growth percentile of 53 and a school achievement percentile of 63%. Statewide science results showed that 42% of 5th and 8th graders met or exceeded expectations. They showed an increase of 1% from 2023 and a decrease of 6% from 2019. 49% of 10th grade students statewide met or exceeded expectations in science. They showed a 2% increase from 2023, and their change in scores for 2019 were not applicable because 2022 was the first year of administration of the next generation test for physics and biology. 70% of 5th grade students met or exceeded expectations in science. Their scores increased by 8% in 2012 and increased by 14% in 2019. Their scores showed a school achievement percentile of 83%. 58% of 8th graders met or exceeded expectation in science. Their scores saw a decrease of 4% from 2023 and a decrease of 1% from 2019. Their scores showed a school achievement percentile of 79%. 61% of 10th graders met or exceeded expectations. Their scores showed a decrease of 5% from 2023 and scores from 2019 that were not applicable. They received a school achievement percentile of 68%. Dr. Quinn and Ms. Kirk stressed that MCAS is only one snapshot in a time when it comes to measuring student achievement and growth, and results are not everything the district values. Next story is Commission on Disability works to update website issues by Amy Rothman. The town's landing page for the Sandwich Commission on Disability has some flaws, namely that it is not very accessible to the people who may need to use it the most. For some time now, the Commission has been working to fix ongoing issues with the website. Besides the outdated information it contains, the website also lacks in its offerings for accessibility. Working to nip this issue, the Commission scheduled a live review of the website during its meeting on October 2nd. Chairwoman Lisa A. Judelson led the Commission on its discussion, which was held over Zoom, as Megan Keegan shared her screen showing the website for everyone to see. The intention is to review the landing page for the Commissions on Disability, Ms. Judelson said, because we know that is a work in progress for the whole website. The website, as she explained, has had issues with accessibility. Certain features such as voiceover descriptions and the Zoom link to join the meeting have had issues for some users. When the Commission creates the agenda with the Zoom link attached and audio functions included, the features seem to work. However, when it is uploaded to the website after being scanned by the town, these functions seem to disappear, and the Zoom link is not always accessible, and the text speak function does not always work. This has created an unreliable system for the Commission, so much so that some members of the committee say they do not click on the link that is posted on the website anymore, but instead keep the saved Zoom link. Additionally, the placement of the Zoom link within the agenda can create another barrier that can make it harder for someone with a disability to find the link and easily click on it to join. The link is there, but it is not easily accessed by people with a disability, Ms. Judelson explained. Due to not only open meeting laws, but also the mission of the Commission of Disabilities, Ms. Keegan said, "It's supposed to be accessible for everyone. We have been asking for accessibility for basic things from all ends of this town for years at this point," Ms. Keegan said. "And we still don't have a link to this meeting that is accessible. And I don't know where or when this is going to end. I feel like I've been really patient, and I'm losing my patience with this now for sure," Ms. Keegan ended. Updating information. Besides the issue of accessibility, the Commission also discussed information on the website that is not up to date. In this meeting, the Commission discovered that there were several links on the website that have outdated PDFs and articles attached to them. One of these links, Sandwich ADA Grievance Procedure, September 2018, brings the reader to a document that contains incorrect information. This was pointed out by Commission member Joseph B. Saulnier. The document has contact information for Brendan Brides, ADA Coordinator, Building Commissioner. However, it appears to be incorrect. I did send this to Brendan, and he confirmed that it was out of date, but I think we would need to be able to vote to ask him to rewrite it, Mr. Saulnier said. Another link on this list, for the Mass Office on Disability flyer, was found to be several years old, and Ms. Judelson suggested that the Commission should try to find an updated flyer for the website to replace this outdated one, adding some freshness to the website. Besides correcting the information on the website, the Commission members also wants to increase their impact by making their website easier to access. Ms. Judelson mentioned that the landing page could use some work to make information and resources easier to find. One suggestion that she had was that the Commission should work to compile a list of resources that could be shared among the Commission, which could then be shared to both the website and social media. Ms. Keegan also suggested that the Commission could post an update a day before about one resource on social media as a way to increase engagement and raise awareness. I really like the social media idea. I think that's something we should work on, Mr. Saulnier said. If we don't update it, people aren't going to engage in our wage, he continued. Additionally, Ms. Judelson emphasized the Commission should update the overview section on the website so that it is more representative of what the Commission does. What I want is for the overview of the Commission on Disability to be descriptive of what we do so that people can go to the landing page and see what we're about, Ms. Judelson said. I just wanted to be clear about what it is we do, then reference resources for people so they can find out information if they're looking for it, and then also have contact information so they can get in touch with us if they are looking for support or have questions about specific things, she continued. Mr. Saulnier suggested that the Commission takes language from its bylaws that would help explain exactly what the Commission was made for and what its members intend to do in the future. He suggested that the Commission could include a link to this law directly from the Massachusetts legislative website so that people could easily access it and have regularly updated information. Overall, the Commission decided to focus on updating the links on the website, adding a link to the bylaws that guide the Commission, updating the overview section of the website, and improving access to the website. With these changes in mind, Ms. Judelson wrapped up the live review of the website, saying, "Okay, that is an excellent start at getting that updated and current. A little more user-friendly. I don't feel like what's there is very useful at the moment. The Commission will meet again on Wednesday, November 6th, via Zoom." Our next story is Library Creates In-Demand Collection with Hottest Books by Amy Rothman. The Sandwich Public Library has created a new collection aimed at putting some of the most popular books in the hands of the town's readers. At the Library Board of Trustees meeting on Tuesday, Library Director Diane Castigliola discussed the new In-Demand collection, which hit the shelves of the library last month. The In-Demand collection features popular books that consistently end up having a holds list. Critically, if there is a hold list for a book, then a person walking into the library to browse will not be able to check out that book because the people on the list have first priority. However, with this new in-demand collection, there will be No wait list or holds list. The books will stay on the shelf, first come, first served. There is no option to call ahead to reserve those books. That, Miss Costagliola said, is a big victory for the library. Our biggest victory this month, I would say, is that we started the in-demand collection. She has been working on the project with Karen Ostagai, the library's acquisition librarian. Karen ran with it, and she was so excited, Miss Costagliola said. Together they picked out 22 books for the first series in this collection, based off the current holds list for the library. These 22 books were placed on the shelves at 9:30 a.m., but by 3:30 p.m., Miss Costagliola said all of the in-demand books were checked out. After that, Miss Costagliola and Miss Ostagai purchased the next round of in-demand books. For this series, they picked out books such as Sandwich by Catherine Newman and The Summer Pact by Emily Giffen. Miss Costagliola said that 3 copies of Sandwich have been purchased for this series. All 3 have been checked out. For that series, the library posted to Facebook to alert the community that those in-demand books were out. On September 25th, the library wrote on Facebook, "Come into our library any day of the week and try your luck with this new collection of our most popular and requested titles. There are no holds allowed on the selection of books, so there is no wait time." The post continued, "Try your luck the next time you're in the library. If it's sitting on the shelf, you can check it out. Good luck and happy reading." The post seemed to have created some attention for the collection, as the books were all checked out the same day that they were placed on the shelves again. So she ordered another batch, and then that time we did post a social media post that we had it. And it was the same thing. The day that the shelves were refilled, they were all checked out, Miss Costagliola said. On seeing the excitement over the popular books from regular library patrons, Miss Costagliola said that she is excited about the new collection. Seeing the enthusiasm from library guests speaks volumes about the success of this new collection for Miss Costagliola. "It's such a great moment for me as a librarian. It's a pure joy." She beamed. Our next story is UTC Upper Cape Technical will host Barbecue Challenge. Upper Cape Cod Regional Technical School will be hosting a barbecue challenge on Tuesday, October 22nd from 3 to 6 p.m. The challenge will highlight the talent and creativity of aspiring chefs and culinary professionals from across the region. Students at the competition will create a signature barbecue entree with a side item as well as a Southern-style dessert using a contest ingredient. There are currently 7 Massachusetts vocational high schools participating in the competition. In addition to Upper Cape Tech, students who have confirmed their attendance are South Shore Technical High School, Southeastern Regional Vocational Technical High School, Greater New Bedford Vocational Technical High School, Cape Cod Regional Technical High School, Bristol Plymouth Regional Technical School, and Tri-County Regional Vocational Technical High School. The public is invited to participate in the tasting and voting for an admission fee of $10. Tickets will be sold at the door. The Barbecue Challenge will be held at Upper Cape Cod Regional Technical School at 220 Sandwich Road in Bourne. The event is sponsored by Core, Dole and Bailey, Sam's Dressing, Crostea, Spiceology Sweet Baby Ray's, and Trimark USA. Next story is Cemetery Restoration Request Raises Concern Regarding Application Process by Taylor Frusetti. Cemeteries around Sandwich will soon undergo a restoration process, but the approval of the project caused some friction in light of the newly approved process by which community preservation funds are distributed. The Sandwich Community Preservation Committee approved of a request to restore the fences at Cedarville Cemetery and an Old Town Burying Ground on Monday. The vote led to some disagreement regarding the new application process the committee has adopted. Former Sandwich Historical Commission member Kathy McGuire explained during a meeting last month that the Victorian-age fence at Cedarville Cemetery is in dire condition. Community Preservation Committee Chairman Matthew J. Schmel said similar work is needed for the fence at the Old Town Burying Ground, including repairs to the gates. Ms. McGuire said that she would rather see the historical structure restored rather than replaced with something that is not appropriate. During the September meeting, committee member Jeffrey R. Picard said that he did not believe the request for $165,772 would cover the entire cost of the project, especially for the cleanup. He said that the paint on the fences likely contains lead, which calls for a specific disposal process. Committee member Bob E. King suggested erring on the side of caution and raising the contingency costs. The group agreed to raise the contingency cost by $20,000, bringing the request up to $187,772. The Community Preservation Committee recently changed its application process from a first-come, first-served system to open enrollment. Between June and December, anyone can apply. The committee would still discuss the application, but it might not necessarily vote on it. The committee will then hold the applications and then discuss all of them at the same time. Committee Vice Chairman Darrell A. Crossman said that he supports the project, but he will not vote in favor of it because it is the first application that came before the committee since changing how it reviews applications, and it was already making an exception for the process to get the cemetery restoration project on the docket for a special town meeting. Mr. Picard said he agreed with Mr. Crossman. Mr. King said that he also agreed with Mr. Crossman, adding that the change made sense at a time because during the vote, the committee was under the impression it would not receive substantial funding. That funding has risen to approximately $3 million since then. Mr. Schmimmel said that the reason he was supportive of the change was because it would give the committee the option to review all of the applications at the same time or make an exception for something time-sensitive. Based upon this one application, I would say that you are right, but next year we could have 7 applications that come in, and I would be wishing that we had this policy in place, Mr. Schimmel said. The committee plans to discuss the process further in a future meeting. The request was approved with Mr. Crossman abstaining. And we now come to obituaries. Nicholas R. DaCosta. Nicholas Robert DaCosta of Sandwich died unexpectedly at his home on October 1st. He was 43. Born in Brooklyn, New York, he most recently worked as a boat transportation operator with Dry Dock Marine of Yarmouth. He enjoyed boating, all things marine, trucks, motors, snowmobiling, and riding all-terrain vehicles. He leaves his parents, Adrian Ferreira of Buzzards Bay, and Robert DaCosta of Sandwich, his wife, Shelby Ivory DaCosta of Sandwich, their son, Nicholas R. DaCosta Jr., his daughter, Neve R. DaCosta, his sister, Michelle Boyd, his stepfather, Luis Ferreira of Buzzards Bay, and his stepbrother, Shelby Ferreira of Tampa, Florida. A funeral mass will be celebrated at 11 a.m. on Friday, October 11th at Parish of Christ the King in Mashpee. Patricia Cram. Patricia Cram of Sandwich died on October 8th. She was 89. Visiting hours will be held Saturday, October 12th from 10 to 11 a.m. at Nickerson Bourne Funeral Home in Sandwich. A celebration of life service will follow at 11 a.m. at the funeral home. Burial at North Beverly Cemetery will be private. Joseph M. Jochnowitz, Joseph Manuel Jochnowitz of Sandwich, a retired business owner and member of the Falmouth Jewish congregation, died on September 14th at Cape Cod Hospital. He was 89. Born in Boston to Sidney and Mary Breacher Jochnowitz, he was a 1953 graduate of Cambridge Academy in Cambridge. Following the unexpected death of his father in August 1953, he took over the family's window cleaning business, Superior Window Cleaning Company in Boston. He was an active member of the Falmouth Jewish congregation, the FJC Brotherhood, and the Lions Club in Sandwich. Mr. Jochnowitz leaves his daughter, Deborah Pierce, and her husband, Glenn, of Massachusetts. His son, David Jochnowitz, and his wife, Jessica, of Maryland, and 2 grandchildren. He was predeceased by his wife of 33 years, Patricia Jochnowitz, in 2004, and his sister, Gertrude Joff. No public service is planned at this time. Other obituaries. David R. Abbott, 93, of Falmouth, died on October 9th. Edmund Burke, 86, of East Falmouth, died on October 5th. Thomas J. Crowell, 88, of Falmouth, died on October 7th. Susan F. Eaton, 64, of Framingham and T-Ticket, died on September 28th. Sheila A. Femino, 76, of Falmouth, died on October 6th. Margaret T. Hersey, 93, of Monument Beach, died on September 14th. Judith E. Hunting, 79, of East Falmouth, died on September 23rd. William J. Kirk, Jr., 94, of North Falmouth, died on October 4th. Hans Laufer, 94, of Storrs, Connecticut, died on August 17th. Georgia H. McCarthy, 90, of Quincy, died on October 4th. Barbara J. Morissette, 97, of East Falmouth, died on April 21st. Edward M. Palizolo, 91, of Mashpee, died on October 2nd. Marilyn H. Powers, 93, of Bourne, died on October 4th. Catherine Resnikoff, 85, of St. Paul, Minnesota, died on September 18th. Ralph R. Romke, 81, of East Falmouth, died on September 27th. Our next story is Bright Comet Can Be Seen from Area Beaches This Weekend by David Howell. A bright comet in our skies this weekend? As a longtime astronomy educator, I often worry about headlines such as this one. Most members of the media are not experts in astronomy and often need to rely on folks who are. And at times like these, most actual astronomy experts can get pretty excited. But the fact is, many comets pass through the inner solar system each year, and most of them are so dim that they can only be seen through binoculars or a telescope. A comet that will become bright enough to be seen as a dim blotch of light in the nighttime sky might be exciting to astronomers, but an underwhelming disappointment to would-be comet seekers returning grumbling to their beds at 3 o'clock in the morning. In my role, I constantly encourage my students and others to go outside and look up. When that effort results in disappointment, folks are less likely to head outside when the next exciting event is predicted to occur. My strategy has been to evaluate the predictions carefully and to downplay any that I think will likely disappoint the average viewer. But I wrote the headline above because I think this next comet could be a really big deal. This particular comet carries the unwieldy name Tucson Atlas. Comets are customarily named after their discovery, and in this case it was discovered independently by astronomers at a Chinese observatory and by Atlas, an automated system of telescopes designed to detect asteroids having the potential to strike the Earth. Fortunately, this particular comet will pass nowhere near our planet. Astronomers also have a shorthand system of naming comets. This one's alternative name is C/2023 A3, reflecting the fact that it was originally discovered over a year ago. Astronomers classify comets such as this one as sun grazers, as their orbits carry them very close to the sun before they swing around it and head back towards the outer solar system. Because they pass close to the sun, they always encounter the risk of being torn apart by the sun's strong tidal forces, never to be seen again. But it appears that C/2023 A3 will not suffer this fate and should become visible tonight and in the days to follow in the west-southwest sky shortly after sunset. When it does so, it will likely appear very close to the horizon. This is where some of our local beaches come into play. The best view of this comet will be from a location with an unobstructed view to the horizon, over water to the west-southwest. Try to arrive before the sun sets at 6:01 tonight and a bit earlier on the following nights to see where along the horizon the sun sets. As it begins to get dark, low in the sky to the south of that point, a bright star should appear. This actually is the planet Venus. As the skies darken further, the comet's head should appear close to the horizon, between Venus and the point where the sun set a few moments earlier. The tail of the comet should then begin to appear, trailing up and to the left, as some of the material, vaporized by the heat of the sun, is pushed away by the sun's radiation pressure. For once, in my experience anyhow, it appears that our weather will fully cooperate on this occasion, and we should have good conditions for viewing on Friday evening and on evenings to follow. During that time, the comet will gradually move further away from the sun and into darker skies. While that's a good thing, the comet will also become less intrinsically bright, making for something of a trade-off. If you come to the beach, bring your cameras, even your phones. Writing in the venerable astronomy magazine Sky and Telescope, published monthly since 1941, amateur Bob King puts it this way: given October's early sunsets, the comet's timing couldn't be better both for amateurs and the viewing public, with its armada of smartphone cameras. I suspect this icy dirt ball will become the most photographed comet in history. Our next story is new agreement transfers $350 million to Federal Highway Administration for Canal Bridges project by Michael J. Roche. Massachusetts has taken another step towards replacement of the aging Sagamore Bridge. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has agreed to transfer $350 million in federal funding to the Federal Highway Administration, and those funds will be used to pay for a portion of the new bridge. The transfer is contained in a new memorandum of agreement between the U.S. Department of the Army and the Federal Highway Administration and signed by Massachusetts Governor Maura T. Healey. Signing of the MOA was announced by the Healey-Driscoll administration last Friday. We're grateful to our MassDOT team as well as to our congressional delegations and federal partners for the continued partnership and commitment to delivering this project for the people of Massachusetts, Governor Healey said. U.S. Senator Edward J. Markey, Democrat, Massachusetts, said the MOA proves that the collective work of the state's legislative delegation in regard to replacement of the bridges is paying off. He expressed his gratitude to his colleague in the U.S. Senate, Senator Elizabeth A. Warren, Democrat, Massachusetts, as well as U.S. Representative William R. Keating, Democrat, 9th District. Governor Healey and the Biden-Harris administration for their partnership to make this critical project a reality. Today's agreement on the Cape Cod bridges paves the way for a greener, safer, and brighter future for the Cape, islands, and the entire region, Senator Markey said. Senator Warren said that the agreement brings Massachusetts one step closer to replacing the canal bridges, a decades overdue project that will lift up the entire region. She noted the teamwork among federal, state, and local officials, by which $2 billion has been secured for the replacement project. I'll keep working closely with Senator Markey, Representative Keating, Governor Healy, and the delegation to get this crucial project to the next step, the senator said. Representative Keating called the canal bridges a lifeline for every single person who lives or works on the Cape, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket. The congressman said the MOA represents a major step towards ensuring these lifelines are safe and accessible for generations to come. I want to recognize the leadership of the Biden-Harris and Healy-Driscoll administration in bringing this agreement to fruition, he said, as well as my partners in the Massachusetts congressional delegation, who worked together in a bipartisan manner to ensure this $350 million was included in spending bills in both the House and the Senate. Construction of a new Sagamore Bridge is phase 1 of the Canal Bridges Replacement Program, which looks to replace both the Sagamore and the Bourne bridges with larger spans. The project includes other transportation infrastructure along the Cape Cod Canal to improve travel options for drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists. The state has already secured a total of $1.72 billion in federal funding for the bridges replacement project, including a $1 billion from the bipartisan Infrastructure Law Bridge Investment Program and $372 million from the bill's federal Multimodal Project Discretionary Grant Program. It also includes $350 million secured by the congressional delegation for the bridges in the fiscal year 2024 Energy and Water Development Appropriations Act, which was signed by President Joseph R. Biden, Jr. Governor Healy has also secured $700 million in state support. MassDOT Highway Administrator Jonathan Gulliver said that the signing of the agreement is a critical step for this transformational project. Mr. Gulliver said that the memorandum brings the replacement project one step closer to getting underway and beginning the necessary improvements this administration has committed to both the Cape Cod community and the Commonwealth as a whole. Built in the early 1930s, the two bridges now require considerable and costly repairs and maintenance. Repairs that led to months-long lane closures on both bridges were done earlier this year, as well as in 2021, 2019, and 2018. Periodic maintenance on the bridges has resulted in lane closures for several days at a time. The twin spans are federally owned assets operated by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. At nearly 90 years old, both bridges are considered functionally obsolete and structurally deficient. The Army Corps National Office issued a major rehabilitation evaluation report in April 2020. In that report, the Corps formally adopted the recommendation of the New England District to construct 2 new bridges that conform to modern highway design standards. The expectation is for the bridge replacement project to break ground in 2027. The Sagamore Bridge would be replaced first, with a projected completion date of 2034. Well, that is all that I have time for. This is Shannon, your reader, wishing you a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thanks again so much. Bye-bye.